Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Welcome to our second PU Computer Science online classes. In last class, we studied some important topic from web designing. We know some important topic that is from the first class HTML and also www, HTML structure, some important note, and we know in second class we studied important topic like our web hosting, and we know that the meaning of the web hosting, that means here is the process of, that means adding, or here we can say that the meaning of the web hosting is a means of hosting or adding the web server application to the computer system, correct no? And laterwards, after adding the web server application on our computer system, laterwards we can access any information through the internet. This is the meaning of the web hosting, and we know the services: free hosting and later virtual or shared hosting, co-location hosting here, and dedicated hosting, and also some of the language like our DHTML, dynamic hypertext markup language here, and lastly our XML, that is the full form of the XML, extended markup language. We know some of the important note about of all language. Now in today's class we are going to study the new thing, that is the web script. We know the meaning of script. What's the meaning of the script? That means maybe we are going to write anything in our web page is called as the script. So whatever the word we are going to write, maybe the word is yeah. While going to create the web page, this word is called as the script. Clear this point here? The command, the list of command here. So that means not just by using the word gay we are going to create the web page, maybe many number of the words we are going to use. Okay, now this is just only the simple in general way I said the meaning of the web scripting. Now the meaning of the web scripting here. So the web scripting is the process of scripting. The scripting means adding or embedding. Clear this point here? EMBEDDING I am telling. So is the process of adding, is the process of creating, or the process of embedding the script in your web page is known as the web scripting. Clear this point here? That means when you are going to add some information in our web page here, that is called as the scripting. Correct no here? Information in our web page, such one is called as the web scripting here. We know the meaning of the web scripting. Okay, a script or a computer script is a list of commands here. That means I already said, just by using one word we are not going to create the web page here, or maybe such a web page contain a many number of the million of the words in this case, or many number of the words here. So whatever we are created, or after that are embedded, that is called as the created here, and then such script are then interpreted, that means doing some of the processing and later words executed by the scripting, that means this certain program that is called as the scripting engine. Clear this point? So one example for our scripting engine we can say as the I want to execute the web page. Then why? How I am going to execute the web page? We know that I already said in our note here, that means while going to explain the HTML structure, I used the three important note. First of all, how to create the file, where to create the file, how to save the file here, and lastly just to execute the file here, which browser going to use here. So like that only, there is no any changes. What I said in our note, the same thing are used in this point in our web scripting. So clear this point here? That means we can say that the meaning of the web scripting, that means from the first to end I said till the execution of the program. So yes, script, or we can say Computer script is a list of commands here and that are going to add embedded in a web page, and after adding we are going to do some of the processing. The processing only called as the interpretation. Clear this point here in this case, and later where I want to execute such web page, then sure I am using certain program, such a certain program only called as the scripting engine. So for such scripting engine we can use some of the example. I want to execute the file or document, then I am using the web browser. The web browser is the Internet Explorer, or maybe many type of the web browsers are there. You can use any type of the web browser just to execute the document here. So clear this point. So finally we can say, now let's some of the example why we creating the web page. What's the use of the web page here? So the most important use of the web page here to generate the web page on the web here. So clear this point here. So we can say that the most important purposes. So what's the purpose? Why we creating the web page? So the most important purpose, we are going to create the web page here just to generate such a web page on the web here, and after that anyone can access any information through the internet. Clear this point here. Okay, now we know that some of the point about our web scripting. So clear no the meaning of the web scripting. The meaning of the web scripting we can say as the process of adding, creating, embedding the script in a web page known as the web scripting. And we know that how the script going to add in the web page here, and by using which program we are going to execute the web page here, and what's the purpose, why we using the web page, why we adding all those script in the web page. We know each and every point, correct no, about the web scripting here. Later next one is about our scripting language. Now what is a scripting language, or which language is called as the scripting language, or what do you mean by scripting language here? So we can say that the programming languages in which the scripts are written. Clear this point here. I am telling WRITTEN, written spelling. So the programming languages in which the script, we know the meaning of the script now, that means creating some of the word in our web page. Clear this part. So the programming languages in which the scripts are written are called as the scripting language. So there are several scripting languages are available today. Clear this point here. So some of the scripting language examples are, we can say as the VB script, Java script here, and also we can say as the ASP. Clear this one. The full form of the ASP is the active server pages. ASP, the active server pages, it is also a scripting language, and other language is the JSP. The full form of the JSP is the Java server pages. It is also the example for our scripting languages here. And the other language we can say that PHP, it is a server side scripting language. Clear this point here. It is a server or the popular server side scripting language name is the PHP here. The full form of the PHP is the hypertext, that means preprocessor. Clear this point here. The PHP hypertext preprocessor here. So this is the full form. And the last example we can say as the PERL. So what's the full form of the PERL? The full form of the PERL is the practical extraction and reporting language. Clear this point here. The practical extraction and reporting language. So all are the example we can use as the scripting language example. So clear the meaning of the scripting language here. We know the meaning of the scripting language. The meaning of the scripting language means the programming language in which the scripts are going to write or written. Okay, call as the scripting languages. Some example of the scripting languages are, first one is the first example is the VB script, JavaScript, ASP, active server pages, JSP, Java server pages here. Other than we can say as the PHP, hypertext preprocessor, and also the last thing about our PERL, the full form of the PERL, practical extraction and reporting language. Okay, we know some point about our web scripting and also the scripting language. Now let's the types of the scripts. Clear this point here? The types of the scripts. So the scripts are broadly classified into two types. The scripts are going to broadly or scripts are broadly classified into two types. The types are client side script and server side script. Clear this point here? The first type is the client side script. Second one is the server side script. Okay. Now we know that this is called as the client side script. Now this is called as the server side script. We know that all those information is there in our server side. Or maybe you want to access any information that is from the server side. We need to give some of the request to the server, and such requesting we are giving by using the protocol. The protocol name is the HTTP. Clear this point here? By using the protocol name is the HTTP. The full form of the HTTP is the hypertext transfer protocol. That means maybe you want to access any information. First of all, the client side need to give request to our HTTP, then HTTP giving request to our server, and laterwards after receiving the request, the server passing information to our client side. So because of this, we can access any information on the internet. So now we know that about the note about the client as well as by using the our HTTP hypertext transfer protocol as well as the server. Correct? No? Now the first thing I want to select our client side script, that is this point I want to select. Okay here? Now I am not going to tell where the information is stored, each and everything here. So just I want to tell about this point only. Okay here? This point, client side script. So we know that the client side scripting enables the interaction, the connection within a web browser, within a web page here. Correct? No here? Why? Because this is the monitor, the user screen. So maybe if any information accessing from the server, laterwards what's the information you want to access through the internet here, such information going to display on our monitor. Clear this one here? Display on your monitor. So this is called as the web page. Okay here? So it is called as the web page in this case. So we can say that the client side scripting enables the connection or interaction within a web page here, and also the client side scripting are downloaded at the client end. Clear this part here? That means we need to download before going to access any information. We need to download by clicking Internet Explorer. Correct? No? We are going to execute all those web page here. So the client side scripting are downloaded at the client end. Clear this point here? So here we can say that the client side scripting is dependent to the browser. Clear this point here? Are downloaded at the client end only. So the client side scripting are dependent to the, that means are dependent to the browser side only, web browser. Maybe you want to access any information, then sure, without the Internet Explorer, without the Opera or without using any web browser, it's not possible to display any information on our user screen, that is called as on monitor. Clear this point here? So we can say that the client side enable the interaction within a web page here, and also are downloaded at the client side only. So the client side scripting are dependent, mostly dependent to the browser. So finally the client side scripting is browser dependent. Clear this one here? Okay, we know some point about our client side script here. So some sample use of our client side scripting, that means what can we do by using our client side scripting. So some of the examples, some of the work we can do it by using our client side scripting. So the first thing, online games. So maybe you are going to collect the online games, going to access from the server here, and after whenever you want to access any information, sure the server passing information to the client side script. Correct? No? That is called as the as a web page or on monitor here. So first one we can say that here the online games we can play, we can access the online games here. Not just only the online games, the displaying of the pages in a browser, is it? So maybe you want to access any information, then sure you are going to collect from server, and such information later was going to access as a web page on the monitor. So clear this one? So call as the displaying of pages in here by using the browser here. And also the last point we can say about our to get the data from user screen. That means maybe any kind of the information we are going to access, and such one going to access just by one side server, that is called as the client side server. Clear this point here? So this is about our client side script. So clear the meaning of the client side script in this way here. Okay, we know that the sample use, first one is the, it going to display the pages. Client side is using to displaying the pages, to display any online games here, and also to get any information from the user screens or on a web page here. So this is the work that is our done by our client side script here. Now later, what about the server side script? Now I am going to tell about this point. Clear this point? So I am going to tell about our server side script. We know that maybe you want any kind of the information, then sure we need to access, we need to give request to the server. All those information are there in our server side script only. So the server side script enables the completion. Clear this point here? Enables the completion as well as each and every task are going to do at the server side script only. Clear this point here? So maybe it going to enables, that means whatever the task is that the saving of the data, where the data going to store, where the data going to store here, the data going to store by using our server side script only. So here we can say that enables the interaction or maybe the completion of the task, each and everything is going to done at the server side only here. Clear this point here? And later maybe if any client side want to access any information, then sure giving some of the or sending request to the server side, and after receiving the request, the server side passing information to the client end. Clear this point here? The information to the client end in this case here. So clear the meaning of the client end as well as the server side. So lastly I want to tell, that means in the server side does not bother about which type of browser going to use in the client side. Clear this point here? That means maybe for any type of the web browser we can access by using any type. There is no any restriction, just only the Internet Explorer we need to use to access any information from this server. So the server side scripting does not bother about which type of browser is going to use by our client side script. For any type of browser we can access all those information from the server. So clear this point? So this is about our server side. Okay, now later next one is about our some point or the sample use or some of the work that is done by our server side scripting. So the password protection, it going to protect the password, okay here, and also browser customization. That means just we know that how we are going to access the information and how the information going to display. So just because of the browser, correct here? So the browser customization and the form processing, that is called as all those information. Before going to save information in our server, we need to do some of the processing of the work here. So the form processing in this case here, and lastly we can say that maybe any time you want to display the pages, just because of this server we can display all those pages in this case. And lastly maybe if you want to make some of the changes, maybe the editing, maybe adding or anything of the content, such one is going to do in our web page only. Clear this one? So everything that is done by our server side script only. So this is called about our server-side script. So clear the meaning of the server-side script. We know that the meaning of the web scripting. In types of script, there are two types are there. First one is the client-side script. Second one is the server-side script. I already said this some example for our client-side as well as the server side script here. And lastly, it is a very important question, text formatting for 3 marks. So some of the text formatting are, first one is the B. The B is called as the bold. That means you want to make you want to display any information, any text in the bold manner. Clear this point here. So the B, to display the text in the bold manner here. Second one is the I, that is called as the italic. Clear this point here. Maybe any text information going to display in the italic manner here, in italic font. Clear this point here. And later next one is the U. Clear? So what's the full form of the U? The full form of the U is the underline. Okay, the full form of the U is the underline. Maybe you want to add some of the underline within a text in this case here. So such one we can do it by using our underline U tag. Okay, kya? So to add underline to the text here. So this is some information about the chapter. The chapter name is the web designing. So this is our end of the chapter also. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.